Thanks for joining us for another edition of The Small Business Show with Cheyenne Malone, exclusively on ASBN.com.
Hi, everyone. I'm Cheyenne Malone. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of The Small Business Show, celebrating open-mindedness and friendship through mismatched socks. Cool idea, right? Today, we're learning how one entrepreneur is doing just this, using fashion to foster meaningful conversations and positive change with kids and now adults. Joining us now is Hannah Lavon, creator and founder of Pals. So welcome, Hannah.
Thank you for having me.
So I love this idea, very unique. You started your business about 8 years ago. Take us, to the idea, how it came about, and what it takes to get where you are today.
Yeah. So I am a designer by trade and a creative concepter. I used to be in the ad world, on the creative team, doing design, art directing and stuff like that. And I had a concept to make these mittens that came as predator and prey. So your hands could battle it out. Like a cat and a dog, a wolf and a sheep, very playful, almost like hand puppets, if you will. And I was doing that as a side hustle while I was still working as a designer, art director. And after a couple of years, I just was I don't know, I was fulfilled by it, and also was quite seasonal. And I had an idea, and also, just based on the state of affairs in the world today, I just really felt like it was more important to me to do something that had a positive and important concept behind it, besides just go fight each other, because that's really what the mittens were. And people liked them because of the design, not the concept per se. So, the fighting mittens turned into socks that didn't match, but they were friends. And that is how Pals essentially came into being, in that, just passion for wanting to, do something positive and use my art for good. That's really the backstory of Pals. So really, they're all pairs of two different foot friends, essentially, that are a perfect pair, but they don't match. So that is really what Pals is about.
And what are you trying to teach people through this message?
Yeah, it's really to show and flaunt the belief that it is way more fun that they don't match. It's really, I think, such a fun way to share that concept, because it is more fun that they don't match. It's way more boring when they all don't match. And that's really an extension of my personal beliefs, that it just there's so many cool things that are waiting for you to explore and to learn. And when you're not doing the same thing every single day, you're talking to all different kinds of people, you're doing all different kinds of things. It's really just such a cool way to live. And it makes our world more friendly and, tolerant and open-minded. And I think it's just something that I really wanted to help spread. Yeah.
And what's your journey been like? I imagine there'd be some obstacles, right? When starting up your own business and launching something that you have a vision of. Any challenges along the way you want to share?
Yeah, I mean, it is definitely challenging to create a fashion a product without a large amount of capital. It takes a lot to market. When I really started it, it was just oh, if you build it, they will come. And that's actually, in today's day and age, that's really not true. Unless you're really, really good at marketing. So I really had a steep learning curve to really, be able to promote it effectively, to be able to be in business. And we started out, I think when I started out, it was focusing a lot less on marketing and more on wholesale, because that was a very good way, I think, to just get the cash flow in and do what you got to do. And then kind of went back, as there was more stability. I didn't have to, work full time anymore, and I could do this full time, to be okay, I really should focus on that now. So that's kind of been the backdrop. And that's, but yeah, it's definitely been challenging. I have no background in business, no background in finance, no background in marketing. So every single thing was just learning. But I find business to be super interesting, and it's way more cool than, I think, when you're working somewhere just on the design team, they give you a brief and they're like, okay, now go make it look pretty, but you have no background as to like what you're doing. It just like, this is what you have to do. So this is a whole new territory for me. I've had two different partners who are no longer with the business, and now I'm just the sole owner, and that's also been a challenge as well because I was more comfortable in the art world than in the finance end, but I actually am a lot more comfortable now being totally in control of my business and like knowing everything in and out instead of like kind of like feeling like someone else who was more experienced was doing that. So that is the part of the journey.
And do you have any of the socks with you? I know you're in your warehouse.
Yes, I have a few. This is we have a taste buds series.
Oh,
So we have strawberry and banana. Got sushi and soy sauce with me. This is part of our different series by artists called Nate Bear. Off the socks, got Rainbow Face and Mr. Gray.
Oh, yes.
Could keep on going, but that's just a few.
Yeah. So, and I noticed you started with kids and you've moved now into the adult space as well, and you're doing a few different products. Tell us about that.
When Pals first started, really the drive was to help be a like socio emotional kind of learning experience in a very chill way for a kid to like, because they are future adults, to really be like, hey, these socks don't match, but they go together, to kind of help talk about that in a way that isn't going to be too educational or too serious, just a very like fun way to introduce that. And after being on our new site, which has very good data for learnings, we learned that actually like 40% of our sales are to adults. And that was very interesting to me because I'm someone who's an adult who enjoys these. And I really thought it was cool that so many people were buying them, but not necessarily like engaging with our, content. We're just kind of on the side. Like they thought the values were cool, the like look of them are cool. So that really made us think about what we're doing. And I just was like, we don't have to pigeonhole the brand to be a kid's brand. When it's been clearly this is a brand for all ages. If you like the values, you like to have adventures, you like to have all different kinds of friends, you are a fun, colorful person, like this is for you. No, it's okay. And that's what Pals is about. So that's it. Yeah.
Where can we find your socks?
You can find Pals on our website, which is palssocks.com with 2 S's, and on Amazon. And also we are in around 800 boutiques, independent retailers, and we have a store locator on our site as well.
Awesome. So where do you see your business? You've been rocking and rolling for the past 8 years. Where do you see yourself in the next 5?
One of the things that's really important is like expanding to not just do socks, right? Because that's like really where I want to start out and be known in. And I think it's important to diversify. And now we're just kind of exploring what those are going to be that would like make sense for the brands and not be like a me too, but like really like a powerful thing. So there's some stuff in the works that I hope to be introducing shortly that are going to be very exciting. We just started to sell some very cool slides for the summer. I want to do some really interesting collaborations and just really like grow the brand into something that, a lot more people are aware of through our concept and our, being here as a human in this world.
And I'm curious your advice, people, we usually say in general, small business owners, what's your advice if you have an idea and you want to move forward? But I want to know your advice being on the artistic side of it, right? And so like you said, you were a little bit more intimidated by the business aspect. What advice do you have for people in the same boat? Maybe they're amazing at their art, but just wouldn't push, forward because they don't know that they have the business savvy.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, business is math. That just, when it comes down to it, like you can't really have a good business without knowing the math of your business. So you can make cool stuff. You totally can, but unless you are fully aware of how much you are profiting, how much you are, not profiting, then you can't make choices. And it's very important to do the not fun stuff so that you can be your own boss and create what you want to. And it obviously helps if you have an advisor or someone or a good accountant that can really help you understand some complicated concepts. And that is very helpful for me as well, where I do the best that I can and I have a general sense. And then and then monthly I have, good like financial conversations with accountants, like people who, but that's like not a free service. So if you can't afford that, then you just have to do it yourself. I mean, that's really what's up. Mm-hmm. If you want to be a business owner, I mean, that's just like what's up. It is like all math. That's it.
Awesome. All right. Well, good luck with the business. And I hope to see you back on the show with new ideas and what's next. Hannah Lavone, creator and founder of Pals. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a very cool convo.
Thanks for joining us for another edition of The Small Business Show with Cheyenne Malone, exclusively on ASBN.com.